And as they kept going down like a bunch of nested Russian dolls, and you open up the last one and there's nothing there, all you get are bits of information. And so even the quantum physicists were coming to the conclusion that there is no physical world, at least not the way we think of it. And so, really cutting across all three of those dimensions, technology, science, and religion, particularly the mystical sides of religion, that's what got me down this path of exploring the idea that the world is a simulation.
So it's fascinating because simulation theory has been around for a long time. I've been saying for the longest time, I know I'm not the first to say it, but the concept of the video game makes so much sense when you start thinking about simulation theory, and also concepts of like reincarnation, where like you literally have multiple lives to pass certain levels of a game. And I always use either Zelda or Super Mario Brothers or some classic arcade game, but you just keep challenging yourself. And specifically, I'll never forget, when I was young, I was playing the sequel to Zelda, which was Link, The Adventures of Link. And we couldn't get past a certain level. My friends and I were playing all summer, couldn't get past a certain level. And I just said, he goes, man, the only way we're going to get enough experience to beat this monster is to sit in this forest for like 6 hours and just kill like hogs to gain experience. So I went and I sat for 6 hours at night and just sat there killing low quality kills, but building up my experience. So the next morning I woke up, we'll go over there and I plugged it in. He's like, where'd you get this? I'm like, I sat 6 hours and killed hogs for the whole night. Like, let's go. And we destroyed the villain or the boss. But that just started me, even at that age, I was thinking like, so in reincarnation, when you come back, you're challenged with multiple experiences to level up, and at certain, like you've already conquered addiction. You did that in like 5 lives ago. You've already conquered, hate. You really don't have that kind of energy anymore, or abuse, or this kind. Is this all making sense to you in your theories and your hypothesis?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in my book, The Simulation Hypothesis, I get into what I call the questing model of karma, right? Which basically you can think of karma as a set of quests or achievements in a video game. And that's how we make video games today, right? You go in and you've got various quests and various achievements. And those are like experiences that you have signed up for at some point in your life. And as you unlock one, you end up unlocking others as well, and you start creating more of those. And so, that analogy of life as a video game works really well, particularly within the Eastern model, right? Which with reincarnation and the idea of multiple lives, but also there's what's called the NPC version of the simulation hypothesis. And then there's the RPG version. And I think this is one of the most important distinctions. And most people who talk about simulation theory don't really talk about it too much, but it's actually one of the most important aspects of this. So NPCs are like non-player characters in video games, who are like the AI characters, like the hogs or other.
Right, like you guys are just doing their thing, like Wreck-It Ralph.
Or the bartender, right?
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
Yeah. Or there was a movie called Free Guy.
Oh yeah,
which came out a couple years ago with Ryan Reynolds, who was an NPC. He was just a bank teller, right? But then he became conscious. And then there's the RPG version where you have a player who exists outside of the video game, and then that player basically, takes on the identity of the character, or what we call the avatar, which by coincidence is an old Sanskrit term, which means to descend. In fact, the guys who were they were building the first MMORPG type game called Habitat at Lucasfilm, the Star Wars, George Lucas's company. They were looking for a term that would describe how they could be in this little guy. Back then, we're talking 8-bit graphics, so very small characters. How they could inhabit that over the phone lines, because they were using dial-up modems on the Commodore 64, which is going back to my day as a kid now.
Me too.
Actually playing programming, and so they end up borrowing the Sanskrit term for to descend, when divinity descends into a character. And so in the RPG version, we exist outside of the game, and we play this avatar or character inside the game, and we go through the whole thing. And then at the end, what happens at the end? And so, I spent a lot of time looking at near-death experiencers.
To watch the full video, click on the link below. And don't forget to subscribe.